Good morning, everyone. This is Seychelle Van Poole, and I am here on behalf of the North Texas and New Mexico region, and we are very excited to have a special guest with us here today, Amy Youngren. And Amy is a dear friend of mine, but also a top producer out of the Toronto region, and she is just phenomenal. I'm so excited for her to share her story with you here today. And we are going to jump right in and get started. As a quick reminder, this webinar is recorded, so we will be posting it up on KW Connect and on YouTube. And also, we do answer live questions as we go through the webinar. So on your webinar format at the bottom, there is a chat feature. And if you have a specific question as we're going through today that you want answered, please feel free to post it below, and I will make sure that I am getting those questions answered as fast as I can as we're going through the call. So Amy, welcome. We are so excited to have you here today. Thank you. I'm really honored. Thank you. Well, fantastic. So Amy is an up-and-coming name in the real estate industry, but she's no stranger to the real estate industry. You've been in the industry for quite some time. But newer into the sales side, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've been in the industry since about 2002, but just on the sales side for about four and a half years now.
Wow. And so when we talk about that, what were you doing before you decided to get into the sales side?
So prior to sales, I was corporate in the industry, actually. I was the director of strategic partnerships for a real estate brand. So I had the opportunity to facilitate business relationships, if you will, between third-party vendors and our brand, and then rolled them out to our agents and brokers, services and products that offered value and helped agents and brokers with their business. And so it really afforded me an amazing opportunity to be very connected in the industry from the corporate standpoint, getting to attend a lot of real estate events and trade shows, and getting to know a lot of vendors and other brands at the corporate level, which was pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was, and that's just so you guys know, that's where I met Amy. Is we met prior to her getting into real estate, and one of the things that I always loved about what you would do from a corporate standpoint when you were looking at potential vendors for the real estate industry was, how is this going to benefit the agent? How is this going to help them grow their business? It wasn't just how much money are you going to line the corporate pockets. It was, how is this truly going to benefit our industry and the agent? And I feel like you've always had that mentality. And so watching you naturally transition into the real estate space was really exciting, because I knew you were going to take that same attitude to your clients as well. So you've been in the industry almost 4.5 years now. What made you make that mental shift from going from the corporate world, which has a lot of security, to a completely entrepreneurial world in the real estate space? What made you decide to make the move?
So I was experiencing a little bit of, I was very exposed to the sales side of the business in my corporate job. And so, I was seeing a lot of, colleagues and friends and just people in the industry that were just killing it in sales, and kind of being drawn to that a little bit. I think at the end of the day, I felt like I'd sort of hit my ceiling, I guess, if you will, corporately, and that I wasn't able to break the glass like I would wanted to. Yeah. So I thought, I was starting to feel that restlessness, but I hadn't made a decision about doing. I was actually going through a really difficult time personally, and I wasn't, even remotely considering a major change, especially one going from job security to being an entrepreneur in real estate. But I ended up actually with an invitation to a Diana Kokoska breakfast, and she said one thing. She said many things in the 2 hours, but I only remember one. And very simply put, and we hear, it's funny because so often we hear things on a regular basis, and we hear quotes or lines or different things, but until it's the right time and the right season for us, that's when it resonates and it really hits home. And she just said, if you've outgrown the pot you're planted in, you need a bigger pot or you're gonna die. And I literally, that day was a Friday morning breakfast. I quit my job on Monday morning. 4 weeks later, I was an entrepreneur. So that's exactly how it happened, not sugarcoating it in the least.
Wow. that's a really powerful statement that Diana made. I can completely understand how that would have smacked you, especially in the position you were in, how that would have kind of smacked you between the forehead and gone, whoa. But wow, what an amazing opportunity. So just to give you some validity as we're talking about your journey into the sales side, I want everybody to see the numbers that we're looking at in the last couple of years for you. So up on the screen right now, we have the numbers behind Amy, and we're going to talk a little bit about how she got to this point. But just so you can kind of understand the trajectory that her team is on, in 2015, she personally did $300,000 in GCI, or gross commissions earned, and her business partner that she ended up merging with at that point did $550,000. Less than a year later, their team did $2.3 million in GCI for $93 million in volume. I would say that that's a lot more than just adding the two of you together. So I can't wait to dive into that a little bit. And then this year you're on track for $2.5 to $3 million. So we can see a huge trajectory as you're adding people and adding the right people into your world. So let's circle back real quick. So you get into the real estate space, and that was like what, right at like end of 2012, 2013. Is that about right?
Yeah, so where are we? Yeah, I know it's 4.5 years. Oh my God,
I'm circling you back for just a second, because I think a lot of times people think, oh, well, pretty much everybody on this call is a big producer. So they've all been through the ups and downs of getting into business, having your ups and downs, the challenges that you face at the beginning. But I think a lot of people assume it's going to take 15 to 20 years for you to get where you want to go. And what I'm so impressed with you is that you weren't willing to accept that game. You weren't willing to accept that was the norm. And so in a very short period of time, 4.5 to 5 years, you've completely changed how you look at the business, how you've grown your business, and how you're approaching everything moving forward. So I want to spend like 2 or 3 minutes here just real quick on the beginning, because I think it's always good to know where we came from. And then let's talk through 2015 and what made you decide to make that jump, right? And then we'll move forward into what you guys are really doing to dominate now. Okay. So talk to me, you get into the business, you leave the corporate world on that Monday after Diana Kokoska, and you leave the corporate world and you get into real estate. Mm-hmm. What happened then?
Yeah, so it's literally January 2013, and I am staring at my computer, knowing that I need to make phone calls, that I need to send emails, that I need to prospect for business, and I have like nothing in my pipeline. I'm well connected, but I didn't have this database or anything. And I would say I spent 2013. I worked really hard, but I didn't work smart. But I was in every different direction that you could imagine. I sold real estate, 2 hours from where I was located, just because I got an opportunity. I made, a bazillion phone calls. I didn't know that I wanted to build a business or to set up a business, like from a team or a company standpoint. So I just was a floundering real estate agent. I did leases. I tried commercial. That didn't come together. I wasted a lot of time. I tried to do all the right activities, though, because that's the one thing I did know getting the business. I knew I needed to lead generate. Was I perfect at it? Absolutely not. Is there days where I thought I was going to quit and go back to my corporate job? 100%. But I had a decent year. I kept myself afloat. I made a little bit of money, and learned a lot. Just kept my mindset right. Kept moving. I felt like quitting, and I can honestly say, like, there was days where I thought for sure, I was like, what did I do? Why did I just do this to myself? Yeah. In the next year, I landed an amazing opportunity, and it came as a result of a long-term relationship. So it's not something like where luck just fell in my lap, but I had nurtured a relationship for a very long time. So I landed a development opportunity, and I had the opportunity to work for a developer where I got to facilitate an entire condo sale project for him. And in that year, I built a sales team, structured the sales office, put together the marketing program, and hired the inside sales team, and we sold 800 condos in 14 months. That was an amazing year, 2014. I worked 364 to the 365 days, 20 hours a day for that entire year. But I completely took my foot off the gas pedal. No, I wouldn't say completely, but I did have my foot a little bit off the gas pedal when it came to my resale business. not that there was too much to be had, but I wasn't focusing on it. So then that project comes to an end, and all of a sudden 2015, I was like, whoa, what am I doing? I don't have a business. I don't have a database. So I literally kicked into high gear at the beginning of 2015. I did the thing that they say that you need to do when you can afford to make your first hire, and I was lucky that I made really great money in 2014. So I knew that if I was going to be successful, I had to leverage myself quickly so I could stay focused on lead generation and sales. And so the beginning of 2015, I hired an administrator who is today my operations manager, and the rest is history. It was slow, but we did about 300,000 in 2015, and that's just from literally following the principles of, lead generating for a couple of hours a day, plowing through open houses, following up on everything that you possibly can. But the thing is, we didn't really put the systems and the models and the structure in place. It just wasn't there yet. We were still just like, okay, chasing every deal, if you will, and that was sort of what 2015 looked like. So that was just sort of our just pre-merger, if you will.
Right. So what's interesting to me is one thing that you were always looking for, since I've known you when you got into business, is you're always looking for really, really, really strong people and really smart people. And one thing that I think that you are looking for that's different than a way a lot of other people look at growing their real estate business is you were always looking for somebody that was doing at or higher level production than you, that was capable of merging in with your business, not necessarily somebody that you were going to take in from the ground up. So talk to me a little bit about why that was something you were looking for, because your business partner that you have now wasn't the first time that you were looking for that, right? So talk to me about that philosophy of partnering or merging versus building from the ground up. And then talk to me about, what decisions you went through to decide that this is the right merger for you.
So at the end of the day, when it comes to partnership, I always fall back on the quote, if you want to go far, go alone. If you want to go fast, go together. And so I was approached a couple of times about partnership opportunities or mergers, or not mergers, if you will, but partnership opportunities. And they weren't the right fit. I entertain them for sure. I'm definitely one of those people that, aspires to, how do I do this as effectively and as efficiently as possible in the shortest amount of time. I'm not 25 getting into the business. God, I wish I was. I wish I would have heard Diana Kokoska when I was 25 years old, but I didn't. I heard her when I was 35 instead of 25. And so I knew that I had to build something. I knew that what I wanted to accomplish, and you actually said it best for me a few minutes ago, I wanted to accomplish in 5 to 10 years what would normally take 10 to 20. And so, a merger or partnership for me was one of those things that just would make sense if it was the right opportunity. And quite truthfully, there were opportunities. I was approached where I did have conversations. It was not the right fit. I followed, when I did meet my current business partner, it came as a result of a conversation that was very organic. It was not planned, it was not premeditated, it was not, out in any way. And we were just, two good producing agents, each of us with one person working on our teams. You can call that if you call that a team, like it was just us and one other person. And both of us were doing a good amount of production, but we were just grinding. I mean, we were working insane hours. And we just talked about it. Wouldn't it be great if there was a way that if the opportunity was right, if you find the person with the right complementing skill sets that are opposite of yours, that you could put together this team. And it came about as a result of a conversation actually that centered around sort of like a Christmas or holiday potluck lunch, and it was we were just a whole bunch of us having the conversation. But my today business partner spoke up, and he's like, I would do that in a heartbeat. He's like, I know what I'm not good at. And I said, me too, exactly the same. And quite truthfully, the honest to God way it unfolded is that everybody walked away from that conversation, and we were sitting at a table with anybody who was doing from $150,000 to $500,000 a year. and we were all pretty much solo agents or had one person working with us. And I walked away from that call, and I sent him a message. I said, do you want to explore this conversation? And he said 100%. And one thing led to the other, and that's where we are today. You can see in the picture.
I must say that's a very photogenic group in that picture there.
So I will say this about the picture, because I never want to make anything seem bigger or better than it is. But so the situation with our team is that 4 of the people that you see in that picture are in the licensing process, have signed a contract with our team, and are joining us in the 2 are joining in 2 weeks, 2 more are joining 30 days after that. And so 4 of those people are not even licensed yet. So the growth that we've experienced and the volume we've experienced has been done and accomplished with a very small group of top producing agents.
Got it. That's awesome. So talk to me about what do you look for when you're looking for somebody to join your team?
You know, our culture is awesome, and we've failed forward miserably in the hiring process, or I should say I have. So, you know, culture for us is huge. We're pretty tight. We really have each other's backs. I would say that it's somebody who, without a doubt, it's they catch the vision and the passion of where we're going. And we talk to people a lot about this because we know where we're going, and we're headed there very quickly. And it's exciting for people at this point to still get in, you know, at the ground level of something that is going to be quite big, and to be able to say, you know, when they look back 5 years, that they helped build that and they helped create it. We're looking for hard work. We're looking for people who are not afraid of hard work. But most of all, you know, attitude and culture are so important, because you can't teach those things. I believe you either have it or you don't. You have the right mindset, you have the right attitude. Of course, we can always improve and add on to it and shift it if we need to, because we all fall into moments where, you know, we need that correction or that mindset shift. But you, at the end of the day, you can't, you know, if it's entitlement or negative attitude or, you know, high maintenance or any of those things, like quite often you can't get rid of those characteristics. And so culture is huge for us. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but
that totally does. And then, you know, you talk about your business partner having a skill set that complements yours.
Yeah.
What would you consider to be in the 20% of the top things that you focus on versus what your business partner focuses on?
So my business partner and I are literally like complete opposites. So the majority, we both sell, we're both producing agents at this point. It's our goal for both of us, you know, at some point to be out of production. That's not any time, like right now, that's not our focus though. So we're both producing agents, but he's completely, you know, analytical and sort of more tech focused and based than I am. He's completely oversees all of our finance and analytics and that side of the business. I'm sort of more the visionary, the recruiter, the marketer. I focus on expansion and things like that, growth. And then we both sell. We're both in full-time production, but because he is numbers based and tracking and conversions and things like that, he's the one who holds the team accountable to their numbers.
Got it. So you help bring them in the door, or you help recruit them in the door. Who does the onboarding once they're in on the team? Like, who helps train?
So we've just spent actually the last 6 months creating a really robust onboarding and training program, because our growth plan includes new agents quite extensively. We're pretty excited about that. Working with new agents is great because they don't have any preconceived ideas of the way it's supposed to be, and they're just really excited about what they can accomplish. The young guy that's in the picture that's standing beside me to the right of me with his arms crossed, he's been with the team for 1 year, and in his first 9 months, so from March until December of last year, he did 100,000 in GCI his first 9 months in the business. And so we know that it's highly probable that you can be right out of the gate, brand new, young, with the right mindset and the right training platform to set you up for success. So we spend a lot of time creating this onboarding and training program, and my business partner, myself, and our operations manager, we're all very involved in the training program. We've created the program. We're trying to automate it in some ways, meaning like we're filming a lot of role playing and objection handling videos and things like that, so that they can use those things to fall back on. But we actually have like an implemented strategy for, you know, when you role play and shadow certain people and going out and actually accomplishing that. It's evolving though, so it's not. It's it's evolving.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think you get busy growing or you get busy dying, right? Like you have to make sure that it's always going to be an evolving process. And as the market shifts or changes, you're going to have different needs that are going to change too. So I think that's great.
For sure.
So you have this robust training that you guys have built, and now then your partner is the one that holds the team accountable once they're trained. Is that what I'm understanding?
That is exactly correct. Yes.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to switch over real quick to your org chart here, so we can kind of take a look at this. So walk me through this.
Yeah. So I'm on the left. My business partner is the right, and you see the name at the top there. We're in the process of doing a rebrand, and that's going to be, we're launching that name and that company in the near future here. So a number of months ago, I'd say probably 6 to 8 months ago, I cannot believe how time is flying. So probably about 8 months ago, we looked at our business and we realized that we kind of wanted to take a step back in order to catapult forward. And I'm a firm believer that you have to, if you can, without going into debt, spend money to make money. So we brought in a consultant who had the experience in the real estate industry from an operations standpoint at a very high level to help us implement a lot of systems and procedures, and to work directly alongside our operations manager to help pull our administrative staff to another level. And so our operations manager works directly with me, and she oversees all of our marketing, works with me on all the things that I mentioned: marketing, recruiting, expansion, all those types of things, technology, our systems and processes. And she has those 3 people: our transaction coordinator, our client care coordinator, and our inside sales rep, that all report into her, and she works alongside me.
Got it.
So we made a business decision. So most people, like most business owners, if you're looking at this, you'll say, wow, they're heavily staffed, and we are aware of that for the size of our team and for where we're at right now. But we're staffed today because we made a business decision that we could, because we're on like a pretty aggressive growth trajectory for the next year.
Got it. And so talk to me, so you have your transaction coordinator. Do you have, who handles your listing relationship with your sellers? Do the individual agents handle that, or do you have an admin that helps with that?
No, so one of our value propositions to agents is that we want them to do what they do best, which is stay in front of the clients and get their next deal, as opposed to managing any sort of part of the transaction. So basically, when one of our agents takes a listing, they bring their listing checklist and literally the signed paperwork back to the office. A listing coordination meeting is established, and that listing coordination meeting, in attendance would be the listing agent, our operations manager, our transaction coordinator, and our client care. And so all 4 of those people meet, but the listing agent basically hands over a file with the completed checklist and all of the details of what needs to transpire, and then the operations manager oversees it from there. Our client care coordinator oversees everything from the listing preparation and communication process. So if the property needs to be decluttered or staged or garbage removal or contractors, or in preparation for signage and marketing, and you name it, she oversees all of it and keeps the listing agent apprised. The listing agent gets back involved again when there's an offer. That's when the listing agent comes in. The agents are obviously involved and informed and things like that. But what the value proposition that we're trying to bring to agents for our recruiting for the future, and what we've done so far, is to say, we know that we know what you enjoy, so just hand us the paperwork and hand us the process and get back out there and get more in front of your clients and let us do all the coordination behind the scenes.
Got it. And then while we're on the topic of listings, who handles, so is your operations manager and Sarah handling all of the marketing of that listing?
Alongside myself. I'm pretty passionate about marketing and content. It's definitely the thing that I love the most about this business. So she works very closely with me. I'm the more creative of the two of us, but she's knows how to execute and knows the technology side. So we're very heavy. We're very heavy on video marketing. We're very heavy on online lead generation and ads. And so all of our print marketing, all of our video marketing, everything has a succinct and customized marketing message that flows through the entire listing process, or sorry, the entire transaction for that property. And she coordinates and oversees all of that. I provide the voice for it, though.
Got it. So I'm going to take just a second here to kind of flip through some of the slides, and I also want to take a minute to show video, and then Amy, I want us to circle back to the inside sales part, because I want to make sure we don't miss that. But you guys have just some beautiful branding that you put together. So I'm flipping through some of the slides, and I'm going to play a video or two here of some of the things that you've done. But it's such a neat brand that you guys have built. I understand, I'm guessing, tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing you want to change from the urban lifestyle group so you can include more suburban sales in your business?
Absolutely.
Is that sort of the top behind it?
Yeah,
okay.
100%. At the end of the day, when, as I mentioned earlier, my first year I floundered, my second year I did a development project. So in 2015, at the beginning of 2015, I was like, okay, I should build a resale business. We formed the name Urban Lifestyle Group. I know that was only 2.5 years ago, but it just, my vision wasn't big enough. So it needs to go away. Unfortunately.
We all have those. And one of my favorites that you did was a Facebook post, but it was also branding that's down there. It says, we're hiring, that's this rocking group of old ladies, like rocking out, which just cracks me up. I was dying laughing when you guys put that one out there.
We're looking for rock stars.
I just thought it was too cute. Okay, I'm going to pull up real quick. I'm going to pull up a couple of your videos because I have them queued up because I think they're really neat to see. So guys, I'm going to play some of these. And Amy, if you want to put on mute for just a second, and I'll let this play.
Hi everyone, my name is Amy. The opportunity to sit down with Frank. He's the seller of our beautiful new listing here at 36 Yorktown Drive. Frank, thank you so much for joining me today. Are you ready to have a little fun? We're really, really excited about this amazing property, and I thought who better to really paint a picture of what this home has been and done for you and for your family than itself. So, Frank, tell us how long have you been?
Over 50 years.
Over 50 years. And did you come here with your family?
Really, really neat. So then I'm going to pull up the other one, Amy, that I've got right up here. So these are two property videos that you put together.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amy Youngren with Urban Lifestyle Group. We are pretty smitten with our awesome new listing right here at 42 Philpott Gardens in the Upper Beaches. And we wanted to share with you our top 8 reasons why you or someone you know is going to love this home too. Number 1, location, location, location. It's not just a catchphrase. It's the most important thing that you should be considering when you're buying a home. And this property is perfectly situated close to the Danforth Street Food, anybody? Close to the beaches, the GO train, subway, great parks. You name it, literally everything is at your fingertips. Number 2 is schools. This growing and diverse community is attracting more and more young professionals.
So neat. I know you probably love me making you watch yourself here on the screen for a minute, but you've done such a neat job.
Thank you.
So talk to me a little bit about your strategy behind marketing and what you guys look for when you're looking to put together something, whether it's a video, whether it's a print piece. Talk to me a little bit about this because I know you've been on panels at Inman, you've been on panels at Mega Camp and Family Reunion talking about the excellent job that you guys have done in executing your team's branding and marketing for your clients.
So I mean, there's a way for marketing to be templated and to be turnkey without it feeling like that. And so I think that's what I was really passionate about. So we created templates. We have like 4 different styles and sizes and designs depending on the property type. And at the end of the day, we look at the property, and because video marketing has been such a win for us, it's really helped set our business apart. We sort of look at the property and look through the eyes of the buyer and think what message or what unique strategy could we use to market this property from a video standpoint or from a content standpoint, and then we translate that through our entire marketing campaign. So it's our goal really with the clients is to create a marketing experience for them so that they we just really wow them, and so we're looking through the eyes of the buyer, and we're thinking, you know, how do we create that unique messaging that will draw in the specific demographic that we know we're targeting for that property, and that messaging content, that whatever that unique message is for this property that you're looking at, we use the term luxury has a new address, and we translated that through from our print marketing to the online ads that we ran to the e-blasts that we sent out. To the content that we used for invitations to the open house, to the just listed, just sold, the video. I mean, you name it, everything was coined with luxury has a new address. And so we do it for every property. We do that for, you know, our price point for our average price point for our team is about $600,000, but we do it for $350,000 condos to $3 million houses. We don't specialize in the luxury market at all. So, but we do carry that sort of concept right through from both ends of the spectrum.
Love that. That's awesome. And then anything else you want to make sure we hit on the marketing side before we transition to the ISA team?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I just think at the end of the day that it's, you know, the consistency and branding too is what's so powerful, and that's what's been really effective for us. That when people follow us, you know, in social media, or they see our ads or they see our videos, they're seeing a lot of brand consistency, and that's helping to drive interest to the team for sure.
Love it. That's awesome. I think that's a great point to make sure you're hitting home. So talk to me about inside sales. One thing we touched on briefly before the webinar today is that you were talking about how you feel like you guys are really excelling at that. What are you doing?
Well, we've failed forward dramatically on this as well. So, you know, I'll be really honest with you. I said this actually already once, like I'm a huge proponent of, if you can, spending money to make money. And so after failing forward on inside sales and you know, not finding the right fit, we actually took a step back about 6 months ago and hired a coach to help us through the entire process. So I absolutely cannot take the credit for it, but wow, have I ever learned, and it's been incredible. So hiring that coach brought us back to, you know, right from the, you know, how to run the ads, the content for the ads, to you know, the how to recruit, then how to interview, then how to find the right person and vet them out, and then how to set them up for success with tracking and what the expectation should be as far as their conversions and their number of appointments that they're booking and things like that, to you know, how to set up the fee structure and everything. So all of that we've learned, and I'm happy to help. I'm happy to share or answer any questions on or offline with what I've learned in the last 8 months, because believe me when I say, like, we've really learned the hard way. So
I totally understand that. I feel like we've been through that game as well. I do have a couple questions for you on it. The first one is, when you say inside sales, are they taking inbound leads and nurturing them? Are they outbound calling? What does that look like for you?
So they're doing both, actually. So we do have a lot of incoming online leads from our boosted listing ads that we do through Facebook, which we're generating anywhere from about 50 to 200 new buyer leads for every single property ad that we run. And then they're also doing outbound cold calling or circle prospecting around our listings.
Got it. And this is a silly question for you, but like a Facebook ad that comes in, right? or a Facebook lead that comes in, they may not necessarily realize that they're even looking to buy or sell. They're probably a colder lead that's coming in the door to begin with. So what is that like? What does that initial nurturing of that lead look like?
So, this is something we really learned the hard way, because when we hear it preached, especially in our company, like inside sales, but at the end of the day, if you don't have the plan in place for how you're going to handle those leads that are coming to inside sales, then inside sales is completely irrelevant. And that's one of the reasons why we failed forward, is that all of a sudden we were like, let's just generate all these online leads, let's give them to an inside sales rep, and then what happens? And so we did it quite backwards. But now we have a very succinct program in place, so that when a lead comes in, it goes automatically into our database. They're called, texted, and emailed immediately. The call is obviously not automated, so it's manual, and we try to do it within 5 minutes or less. That's our goal. Our goal with our inside sales long term, just so you're aware, is to be able to respond to incoming leads from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. 6 days a week. That's my long-term goal, and we're not going to stop till we get there. So that's where we're headed. So when a lead comes in, they're automatically texted, they're automatically emailed, and we call them. We call them 3 times the first day. This, again, remember, these are cold leads that are they're leads that are inquiring about a property that we've promoted. They're called 3 times the first day, 2 times the second day, 1 time the third day. And then after the third day, if we have not gotten a hold of them, then they go on to an action plan that's set for trying to generate a response somehow through email. If we have gotten a hold of them, and of course, then it's either the conversation is either driven them to an appointment or to a different type of action plan for nurturing.
Got it. Very cool. And just out of curiosity, are you assuming that these are potential buyer leads when you're calling, or are you coming from a little bit more of a softer approach when that person does actually pick up the phone?
So we use a script that works extremely well, and I'm happy to share it. And it says, "Hey Seychelle, this is Amy calling from Urban Lifestyle Group. I just wanted to thank you for checking out one of our properties on Facebook. Quick question for you. Are you just casually looking, or are you planning to buy pretty soon?" So that script is gold, and it really works. It works in a text message, it works in an email, it works on the phone, and you can use it. I mean, you can just change "thanks for checking out one of our properties on Facebook" to "thanks for checking out our website, thanks for visiting my open house." Like, you can just change it, and we always say, "Are you just casually looking or planning to buy pretty soon?" And end with a question, and with the embedded command, "buying pretty soon," because that's the last thing you also want them to hear.
That's awesome. And it totally disarms them from the beginning, which is really nice. Like, you're not coming at it with an alternative motive. You're walking in, thanking them and disarming them right away, but also trying to get to the motivation quickly where you're not having to beat around the bush. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it works. It works well.
That's awesome. And then they're also doing circle prospecting then. So do you kind of have a formula for circle prospecting on what that looks like for each lead? Or like for each listing, as far as how many homes around it you're calling, or how many condos, et cetera?
No, and I wish I did. I honestly don't. There's just not enough time or hours in the day to focus on all the things you want. I would love that. I wish I could say that, but no, we're just generally, especially, we're either calling and inviting the neighbors to an open house, or we're calling around a just sold. And we use a really simple script for that. It says, "Hey, we just sold, a property at 123 Main Street, and we're looking for our next hot listing. Do you know anybody that's planning to make a move anytime soon?" And then that kind of disarms them, because we're not asking them, and then we go into asking them afterwards. We rather spin it asking them if they, have you ever thought of making a move? Would you, for the right price? Things like that. I mean, we all know those scripts.
Yep, that's awesome. I think it's great. Not everybody knows them, but I think it's a really good one to make sure that we have. So, Amy, what else do you think that everybody on the call here, so most of the people on the call have teams, or are building teams, or rebuilding teams. What else do you think that they should know?
Oh, fail forward fast. That's my number one piece of it. And don't be afraid of that, because you know that means you're growing. That means you're moving in the right direction, and you're heading, you know, every time you try something and you have to adjust, it just, you know, puts you that much closer to figuring it out the right way in that aspect of success. I don't know. I mean, from, you know, is there something from any of these components that anybody has a specific question on? Or, I mean, at the end of the day, Seychelle, the bottom line of all of this is, there's such a juxtaposition between leverage and hard work, and finding that balance, because, you know, you might say, well, you know, I'm not the most talented person in my office, or my, you know, team leader, or my region, or whatever it is, or this company, but at the end of the day, you can outwork anybody if you've got that passion and that hustle.
I love it. And I think that's something that you've really excelled at. You know, one question that we had is, actually I've got two for you. One is, where are you finding your talent? Where are you finding your people?
So right now, I'll be very honest, they're coming to us. Okay. You know, I think my social media strategy has played a very big role. My personal branding and personal social media strategy has played a big role in attracting people to myself and to the team. So I have people that are literally just picking up the phone and calling and just saying, I've been watching, you know, I want to create a life, you know, I'm using a KW line, but I want to create a life by design. They're not saying that, but that's what they're saying. You know, I'm attracted to real estate because I want to be able to, you know, create a better life for my family. I want to be able to do more to give back and things like that. And at the end of the day, they just want to make more money. And so they're being drawn to our leadership and our vision and our passion and our energy, and they're coming that way. What we are doing right now, and I'm happy to share this down the road, maybe even in 6 months if you want to have another conversation, is that we're working on some very distinct recruiting strategies, both online and offline, but I don't have them as tried, tested, and true that they're working just yet. So they're creating an exciting funnel of leads of people that are very interested in being in the real estate business, though, which is really cool.
Got it. That's awesome. And then I have a second question for you. Brooke Hunt had a question for you. How is your sales team structured? What does that look like?
So all of the agents on our team can list or sell real estate. We don't have just buyer's agents or just listing agents. And so right now, the only hindrance to that is that in the first 6 months of the business, if you do take a listing, it needs to be co-listed with one of our senior, with my business partner or myself, and we actually oversee the process, and that agent is more shadowed through the process, but they still make the same split as if they were the listing agent. So our agents do both. They list and they sell.
Got it. That's great. And I like that you're cross-training on the listing side as well during that time to make sure that you've got your quality control for what you want.
Absolutely.
That's really neat. And then and just a reminder, your salespeople are reporting then up to your business partner on the accountability. What does accountability look like on that? Do you have standards for minimum production for them to like stay on the team? And I know this is still new for you as you guys are growing out your business, but like, what's expected from them, from either lead gen or from number of appointments or listings or buyers they have to work with?
So we're actually in the process of making some changes, and that's coming in June. Right now, today, we have an expectation of 4 mornings a week in the office. We start in the office at 8:45, we script till 9, and then we lead generate from 9 till 11. We're finding that model is probably not going to sustain us. We live in the Greater Toronto area. For some people, it can take an hour and a half to get to the office at rush hour. And they don't live an hour and a half away, believe me. So we're actually going to be going to a new model that's less rigid, and we're going to have 2 set days a week where lead generation is mandatory, as a group, as a team, all at the exact same time. Scripts will be done at those 2 days in person, and then the other days will be done via web conference, and then we're re-implementing our standards, and our standards are 2 deals a month, like cumulatively 24 deals for the year, or a minimum 100,000 GCI. And so what we're doing is that if you're off from your goal within 1 month, that's okay, as long as it's made up by the end of the quarter. And at the end of the quarter, then we evaluate whether or not you stay on the team.
Got it. That makes sense. And then Dustin had a question too, that he was really impressed with how you were generating 50 or so leads or more from your Facebook ads. He says, what's the secret sauce? How do you and Sarah do that?
Oh, Sarah literally just walked out of the room 30 seconds ago, and she's the one that needs to answer that. So I'm not sure who asked that, but please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to have that conversation with you if this is too high level, and we can dive deeper. But we're running targeted Facebook ads. We're zoning in very tight on the area, the postal code, and the age and the demographic of who we're going after. And we're running our ads with very limited, first and foremost, you have to have gorgeous pictures. Remember that you're generating buyer leads for that property, but they're quite typically not going to be, that's not who's going to buy the property. Most people search properties that they are $200,000 more than what they can actually afford. And so if you're targeting, a $700,000 or $500,000, if you're targeting a $500,000 buyer, you have to run like a property that's worth about $700,000. So we don't provide the address and we don't provide the location. And I know there's a lot of what's the word, controversy in the industry whether or not that's a good way to capture leads, but right now it's working for us. I'd say 75% of our buyer leads do not include a phone number, but 25% do, and a phone number that works, which is great. And the rest are valid email addresses, and we have really great follow-up email action plans, email-only action plans. And the emails are working because we use forced Facebook registration, so they have to sign up with the email address that they've set their Facebook account up with. So that's working very, very well.
Awesome. That's
anybody who wants to, if you're looking at ads or looking for ideas, ad ideas, design ideas, anything, just go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/ this is going to change obviously with our rebrand, but / Urban Lifestyle Group Real Estate. That's our Facebook URL. Facebook.com / Urban Lifestyle Group Real Estate.
Yep, I just put it in the chat bar as well so they can see that. Wow, Amy, this has been just tremendously helpful. I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy week and day to spend some time with us sharing what you all do so well and how you guys have grown your business. I'm putting your contact information up if that's okay for you on the screen, so if people have specific questions, because I know we had a few that would be great to drill down, that they can reach out to you directly and ask those specific questions.
Of course.
If that's okay. Awesome. And you guys, if y'all have any referrals for the Toronto area, please make sure you're reaching out to Amy. Just a little plug there, because I think you deserve it and do a great job. And I just have to say, we're so thrilled with everything that you've done and are so excited to watch your journey that I think it would be great in 6 months from now for us to circle back and see how the standards you put in place and how the team that you're building is working out, maybe some of the lessons that you've learned.
Sure.
That we might be able to grow on that path with you, if that's okay.
I would love that.
I think that's awesome.
Can I just say something before you let me go?
Yeah.
I have to have everybody that's listening to this know that a very big portion of the reason why I didn't quit in my first year of real estate is because of the woman that's moderating this call, because of her friendship and her leadership. And I don't know how many phone calls, but you were so instrumental in helping me with my mindset and some very strategic things that I could do to help with my business when I first got started. And I am indebted to you, Seychelle. So thank you so much for everything you've done for me. And I just want everybody on this call to know that.
Oh, you're amazing. Well, it was well worth it. Getting to watch your journey has been so much fun. I've just loved it. So, and it was a worthy cause too, because you're just meant to be something fantastic. So up next, we have Richard Schulman is going to be joining us next month, and he's going to be talking about how he's dominating Yelp. And so, Amy, if y'all are interested at all, we'd love to have y'all join in on that and listen in. And now that you've been an inaugural guest of ours, you're always more than welcome to join in on our Millionaire Mindset webinars as an alumni.
Thank you.
And we're just so excited to have you. And on behalf of the North Texas and New Mexico region, we just appreciate you so much and hope that you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks so much.